Welcome back to CP's Garage, where today we are installing all new headlights, bulbs, and even resistors so we don't get the hyper flash. Let's do it. So we're at the front of the truck. We're replacing these headlights because these things are now officially dangerous. I can hardly see while I'm driving, almost need night vision to see. So we'll start by removing the batteries to give us plenty of room to get down to the back side of the turn signal lenses. So the batteries moved. We used an 8mm to take out the hold down. We used 13 on the battery clamps. Now we're going for 11mm nuts in that hole and in that hole. This can be a real pain in the butt. We could take the battery tray out, but that's more work than really need to be. So we'll snake our hand down there. Get our Icon socket on there. Then we'll use our trusty Icon 1/4 inch drive flex head ratchet. This should be the setup. A deep should suffice. Then take her out. Once it's loose, you should be able to take it out by hand, unless your headlights are moving out, then it could be a problem. I'll be back when we're about ready to take this turn signal assembly out. On this inside bolt or nut, I would definitely recommend getting a small swivel. I would definitely recommend getting a small swivel or extension in there to make it easier on yourself. As you can see, I already disconnected the headlight and the turn signal bulb. I will get these guys, these little guys, when I pull out the turn signal assembly. Alright, now after you got both of the bolts loose, you can take off these two Phillips. Put these in your put these into your to-go cup from KFC. But you guys don't remember those things. Now you'll take out the two wire connectors. Alright, so we got the turn signal assembly out. The next thing we gotta do is remove 3 of these little clips. They are a pain. You're gonna have one right there. You're going to have one right there in the corner, and one behind this adjuster right here. Take care to not damage these things, because the aftermarket ones are not as good as the originals. And if you're up in the north, I'm sorry for you, buddy, because they're probably rusted out, and you'll have to be using the aftermarket ones anyways. So once I get these things out, I will be right back with you guys. To save you a little time on those clips, it's recommended just take the rest of the grill off. So you'll take those 2 bolts off in the back, then the 2 off up here. Then you've got 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3 bolts there. A bolt there, and the 1, 2, 3 again, and that whole grill assembly comes off. It'll make your life a lot easier to get those clips off if they're still in good shape. With the front panel removed, I can show you now how to easily get these off. Take your needle nose pliers, get in there, spread. You spread them out and push up. Normally they'll be locked into one of these clips, and that's why you need to spread it out to push it up. Alright guys, we're back. So I've got one side mounted where I like it. Unfortunately, we had to cut the crap out of the factory headlight support because these things hit like crazy. To get the light mounted square with the turn signal assembly, we had to modify it. Just like anything aftermarket, never fits like it should. As you can see, here is what the factory cutout looks like. And here's what we had to do on this one. Still gotta file it to make it look pretty, but for now it works. So now that we have these dry fitted, we're going to cut these down, put some Deutsch connectors on both sides so I can remove the headlights without dealing with the daytime running lights wiring. So we're back the next day. We had to take a break from all the work yesterday due to external noises from the neighbors. But overnight I had made new harness for the new daytime running lights, these headlights. You may be asking how I plan on running my daytime running lights, since I'm not just going to hook it up to a 12 volt source. Oh, I'm going to do it the easy way. I'm going to take this guy right here and plug the actual daytime running light module into it that Ford used back in the day. This is the module. Unfortunately, I do not have the bracket yet. I have to source the bracket. So this guy will sit right in here. We'll plug that in. We'll take the green and the black. We'll take the red and the black. Red black will be ground. Green black will be positive. Then we'll tie her into our harness we made, and we'll run a ground to either here or up here where there's already a big thing of grounds. But getting to this area right here is easiest when you have the header panel still off. So we'll get this connected and I'll show you how I did it. Alright, I'm back. I have made the connection positive side of the daytime running light to the green and the black wire, negative side to the red and the black. I've also added an extra wire so we can ground it somewhere. I'm probably going to go for this, like I said earlier, or this one back here. More than likely, I'm probably just going to go right here. Easy. Right here is where the daytime running light bracket will go, which you'll have to find hardware and the bracket if you don't find one, or if you don't have one. So we'll get this ginormous plug out of here, and I'll have to zip tie mine there for now until I can get a bracket that I have ordered off of eBay. The part numbers for the bracket, the bolts, and the module will be in the description below. Also, the part number for the butt connectors and heat shrink I used was this one. Make sure you use this heat shrink to cover the cut side of these in this harness. Absolutely necessary due to it having the adhesive in the heat shrink to make it watertight. So we'll get the front end back together and we'll see it back. Then we'll talk about how these new turn signal bezels and turn signals fit. Hey look, we got a helper. I have my safety sandals on. Alright, so now we have the header panel in. You can kind of see I had to zip tie this in for now until I get the bracket that should be here sometime this week. 2 bolts there, the bolt there. I forgot to tell you guys, don't forget to take these off. Be a big pain in the butt if you forget. These ones haven't been on my truck in a long time, so that's why I forgot about them. Got that one in, that one in, that one in. These headlights are going to look great. So let's talk about the headlight bezels. I noticed on these aftermarket ones, they did not come with any kind of washer. On the factory headlights, they had like a little washer so they didn't fall into those holes. Well, when I was fitting these things wouldn't fit worth a crap. So I ended up putting washers on them. I'm going to put washers on both sides because the new nuts that it comes with do not have washers on them either, and they had washers on them from factory. So we are going to see the finished product when I come back. Alright, we're back. We've got the whole front end back together again. We're going to start it and not turn on the headlights. With the headlights off, we should have just the C-rings running with the module hooked up the way it is. So let's go take a look at this thing. Oh yeah, look at those C-rings. By the way, the camera is picking up the frequency of the C-rings. Those are on actually pretty solid. They're on solid. So now let's turn on the headlights and see what it looks like. All right, let's take a look. We got our amber LEDs on the side. We have our LED headlights. We have our switchbacks working right. Same for this side. So let's turn on our four-ways and see what the switchbacks look like. Four-ways are on. They're amber, as they should be. One last check is for our turn signals. Let's see if we have a hyper flash or not. And we do not have hyper flash. Our switchbacks are working exactly how they're supposed to. As you can see, this side is white still. Now let's flip her over to the right side. Alright, so we have our turn signal on to the right. We have a white switchback on the driver's side. And we have the orange one on the passenger side. So we'll come back once it's dark so you guys can see what this really looks like in the dark. But the front of this truck looks mean. I would hate to have this coming up behind me at night. If anyone knows where you can get a blacked out OBS front emblem, let me know. Put the link in the comment section, please.